All right, let me hear it. I know it's been a minute since my last upload, and I said I would try to post a couple times a week, and here we are 2 months later. But you know what? That's why I'm here. I got a free play for y'all and a full game breakdown between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Boston Bruins. So let's get into it. What is good, gang? I am your host, Exotic Wagers, and thank you for stopping by to listen in on my full game breakdown between the Flyers and the Bruins. Before I get into that, if you're new to this channel and you want more content like this, please make sure you follow and hit the subscribe button to my channel, like and share this video, drop a comment down below, maybe on some plays that you like today on this big 11 game slate. Also, you can follow me on X and on Instagram and on TikTok at Exotic Wagers. All right, this game is set for 1 p.m. puck drop at TD Garden, where the 12, 11, and 3 Philadelphia Flyers visit the 14, 11, and 3 Boston Bruins. Philly is plus 135 over at DK as the road underdog, and minus 153 is the best odds you can find over at for Boston over at Profit X Sportsbook. The total is set at 5.5 and is favored to the over at minus 115 on Sports Trade. Philly's current away record is 4-2-1, and as they sit fifth in the Metro, while Boston is 8-6-2 at home and third in the Atlantic. These two teams know each other very well and have seen each other twice this season, with each team coming away with a shutout win, 3-2 and 2-0. Looking back on the last 10 between these two, Boston owns a matchup with an 8-2 record, but Philly winning 2 of the last 3. Looking into the current form, Boston is playing better, currently going 6-3-1 in their last 10. But if you dig a little deeper, they really haven't played any really good teams. They're 4-1 in their last 5. But if you look, okay, you beat Chicago 4-2. You beat a struggling Detroit team on the road in overtime 3-2. You beat Montreal 6-3. Okay, you should have won that game. And you lost to a struggling Pittsburgh. And then you beat the Isles 6-3. But when you look over on the Philly side, yes, a few weeks ago they were struggling to score. But if you look in their last 10, they've scored 3 or more goals and 8 of the last 10 games. They've scored 3 or more goals in 8 of the last 10 games. Also, too, Thursday, they lost to the Panthers 7-5, and they, to be honest, I felt like they outplayed them. They definitely outshot them. They had 34 shots to the Panthers 24 shots, and I honestly think they could have won that game if it wasn't for them having Kolosov in net. But with Arison being injured, they're struggling there at the goalie position. They beat St. Louis. They beat New York at home. They beat the Preds. They lost to Vegas, but they put up 4 goals against the Vegas. And out of the 6 of the last games, 4 of them have went to overtime or a shootout. So they're trying to stay into games, and they're playing pretty hard. So I would expect this team to stay close. For me, it's Philly or pass. I know Boston's at home, but I can't lay the minus 160, just the current form that they've been in, and knowing how they were. It looks like Swayman is expected in net for Boston, and you got Fedatov expected in the net for the Flyers. With Fedatov expected, I really don't want to take the Flyers here either. Honestly, to me, the game screams over. Fedotov is 4-4 with a 3.48 goals allowed, and Swayman, not having the greatest year, is holding an 8-9 record with a 3.03 goals allowed record. Also, if you look back, Swayman has given up 3, 5, 0, 5, and 3 goals in his last 5 games first Philly. So he's had 16 goals in the last 5 games with 1 shutout. I think the only way to play this game here is either you take the team total, the game total over 5.5 goals, or you take Philly's team total at over 2.5. I think just with Fedotov and net, you really can't take the Philly money line. I know it's plus 136. I think it's kind of good value there, but sorry, this is the wrong one here. But yeah, so I really think that that's the only way you really can take this game with Swayman giving up 16 goals in 4 of the last 5 games against Boston, and then also Philly having 3 or more goals and 8 in the last 10 games. I don't see either goalie not giving up a few goals, so I really like the game total over 5.5 here. And like I said, you can also take Philly's team total over 2.5. All right, now for today's free play. Remember also to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. Turn on the notifications so you can get the notifications right when I drop my latest content. So we're going to look over at the Philadelphia Flyers. On the side, I'm going to look at their left winger, Joe Farabee. What I'm looking at here is his shot on goals. His shot on goals are set at 2.5 at plus minus 1 or plus 150. Now there's a few factors on why I like this play. One is he's covered this in 7 of the last 10 games, averaging 2.6 shots on goal per game, and also covering 6 straight in the last 6 games played versus Boston. Just the last 6 straight games. He's also covered this in 7 of the last 11 games versus Boston, and is averaging 5.6 attempts in the last 5. So I think there's great value at plus 150. But also, just as a little bonus here, I'm also going to sprinkle on his anytime goal at plus 400 over at Bet Rivers. When you look at that, Joel has been in a drought and hasn't scored in his last 11 games. But when you're looking at the goalie matchup, Joel scored 3 goals in his last 2 games versus Swayman. And with Swayman giving up 16 goals in his last games versus Philly, it's a no-brainer at plus 400. I also had a bonus over at Bet Rivers, and it gave him me an additional plus 200. So I ended up getting it at plus 600. And I just sprinkled a half unit there on his anytime goal. Also on the plus 150, I took it for 1 unit, so I'm risking 1 unit to win 1.5 units. But all right, that's for me. That's it for me. Like I said, please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn the notifications on, leave me a note down below. Let me know what you think. But once again, I am Exotic Wagers, and thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.